Alright everyone, AJ Legend here. Welcome back to the Superhero Chronicles, and our journey through Phase 2 takes us to the penultimate finale with the Avengers Age of Ultron. I'm going to do my best to power right through this thing. Uh, just going to give an overall broad perspective on what I thought about everything, more like basic stuff. Let's just get through it. Number one, the acting from the cast is spot on, as usual. Downey as Iron Man is great. Chris Evans as Captain America, I just love him as Captain America. He's fantastic. Scarlett Johansson is as Black Widow. She's fine. Jeremy Renner as Hawkeye, and this time around actually gets a lot of funny lines and a lot of cool scenes. So I think, to me, Hawkeye is kind of like a unsung hero for this movie because he does have a lot of cool stuff within it. Uh, Chris Hemsworth as Thor is badass. And and of course, new additions like Aaron Taylor Johnson. He's okay as Quicksilver, not as good as Evan Peters from X Men, but he does what he can do. And Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch is pretty cool. Also, she has a couple of cool scenes, and I like the way she manipulates all the Avengers by giving them these crazy visions. I thought that was pretty cool. What else? And of course, James Spader as Ultron is great. I really like James Spader as Ultron. Like his voice and the way he used his physical mannerisms, even though it was like completely motion captured, but the way he was able to portray Ultron through mocap, perfect, spot on. Point suits. And of course, Mark Ruffalo as the Hulk is fantastic when he's in Hulk form, and he's also pretty cool in human form. And I also liked the whole idea of him and Black Widow teasing of a romance going on there. I thought that was pretty cool too. Another point: the action set pieces in this movie are pretty cool. Like that opening, the opening fight scene when they're going to take down Baron von Strucker. I thought that was pretty cool. That was great. The fight scene when Iron Man inside the Hulkbuster takes on the Hulk who had just been mind fucked by Scarlet Witch, and they fight throughout the city and they just cause damage. That was pretty fun to watch too. And of course, there's a chase scene in Korea where Cap, Black Widow, and Hawkeye are chasing down Ultron because he has like this casket. Of course, we find out that within that casket is the Vision, and of course that whole chase is also was fun to watch as well. And that whole last big battle when the Avengers take on Ultron and his minions, that was also pretty fun to watch too. So its action set pieces were fine. Josh Whedon, who did the first Avengers movies, comes back for this, and of course does a great job with it in terms of the writing. Once again, the characters have witty bantering with one another, and they also have a couple of cool scenes where they're just like sitting down chilling. There's this one scene at the party when they're all trying to pick up Thor's hammer. That was pretty funny. I also like that farmhouse. I know the farmhouse scene gets a lot of hate. I actually like it because it gives a chance for the story to tone down and for the characters to actually like resuscitate themselves and actually feel more human. So I thought that was well done. All right, things that I don't like. Uh, Now, at the end of Captain America: The Winter Soldier, they had set up Baron von Strucker and Hydra, and they set up Baron von Strucker, and he, you see him in that opening set piece, and then the next time you see him, he's dead. It's like he's dead. So he, the most useless secondary villain of all time, is Baron von Strucker because he the only thing useful he did was create Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Because after that, he's dead. But he also has a funny line where he says, "I'm going to surrender, hide everything." That was okay. Another thing that I don't like: Now I said Quicksilver was good, but he has no character. He's kind of a bland, boring character, and I'm not a huge fan of Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't hate him, but he's kind of a cardboard actor in my opinion. In a lot of movies I've seen him in, with the exception of Kick Ass, where he's actually funny, but that's better than Godzilla. And in this, he just comes across as just very deadpan almost. But at least in this movie, he tries to show some emotion. And the scenes where he is actually trying to show emotion is his bantering with Hawkeye, which is pretty funny actually because this is a running joke where where Quicksilver's like, "You didn't see that coming, old man," and then Hawkeye gets him back was like, "You didn't see that coming, did you, son?" So like their whole little thing going on was pretty funny. Uh, uh, okay, CG. Some of the CGI in this movie is hit and miss. As much as I did enjoy that opening set piece, a lot of the CGI was kind of spotty and could have been done a little bit better with more polish. Uh, and and also when like in the main big fight scene, there's also like a little bit of no CG inconsistency going on there. It's like not that's like a nitpick, but nothing really major because I was able to get past it, I guess. But yeah, could have been better. What's another thing? Uh, Actually, you know what? I don't really hate a whole lot of things with this movie. I really enjoyed the Age of Ultron. I thought it was good. I'm actually in the minority that actually thinks it's better than the first Avengers because at least in this movie, you know, they actually try to tell a story, and the story of this movie is that when the Scarlet Witch mind fucks Tony Stark, he has a vision where because of him, all the Avengers are dead. So pretty much, he and Banner create this artificial intelligence known as Ultron as kind of like as someone to bring world peace or something like that. But since Ultron, and of course Ultron was made, but since Ultron doesn't understand the difference between world peace and destruction, his whole thing is like I have to destroy the Avengers in order to have world peace, and that's what led on to that rivalry between the Avengers and Ultron, and all those little intricacies that also that further bring stuff in there. Oh wait a minute, I forgot something. Another thing I don't like. This movie has Andy Serkis in it. Andy Serkis is like the godfather of motion capture, but he's also a great actor. He plays this character called Ulysses Claw, and he's a throwaway character. He doesn't mean nothing. The only thing that happens to him is Ultron takes off it cuts off his arm. So it's like Andy Serkis in this movie, and he's completely wasted. So that kind of cut on my nerves a little bit. But so that really did get on my nerves a little because why is he in here? And of course, if you're a real big comic book fan like I am, you would know that and they also mentioned Wakanda. You'll know that Claw and Wakanda play heavy roles in Black Panther's universe. So pretty much, Claw was just here to be like, listen, Black Panther's coming, so relax. So a little bit of fan service kind of got on kind of bugged me a little bit because if you're gonna bring in Claw, especially when you have an actor like Andy Serkis, at least make him integral to the plot in a way. Have him team up with Ultron or some shit. I don't know. The fact that it is what it is. Whatever. You can't fight City Hall, I guess. But so and I kind of do like the ending of the movie as well. Where like Hulk, flies off into space, and and of course the new Avengers that will eventually get assembled, which will feature War Machine, Iron Man, Witch, Scarlet Witch, not Hawkeye, but Black Widow and Cap. Because at the end of the movie, Hawkeye I think kind of retires back to his farm, and of course Quicksilver dies during the melee in Sokovia as like a sacrifice to save Hawkeye and as some random kid, and And of course, also during that battle, we do see Rhodey and Iron Man try to help out, try to save the city, try to save the whole city as well, because Ultron's big plan is to pretty much turn this entire city into this giant, nuclear comet that's gonna wipe out the Earth. Yeah, so we have Iron Man and War Machine, trying to prevent that from happening, and of course they're bantering, and the bantering between Downey and John Cheadle. I said it before my Iron Man 2, I loved it, and in this one, even though it was not a lot, what I did get, obviously I enjoyed the hell out of it. And of course, and in the beginning of the movie, Anthony Mackie does make an appearance, mostly to say that he's still trying to find the Winter Soldier, but with no luck. And unfortunately, he doesn't play a role in the end of the movie, which kind of annoyed me because I like Anthony Mackie as Falcon, and I wanted to see him and Cap do more of that stuff, do more of their partnership. But whatever. At least I know he'll play a bigger role in what's to come in the future. But and of course, the mid credit scene features Thanos reaching for the Infinity Gauntlet and pretty much saying he's gonna take matters into his own hands. So the groundwork has been set for what's to come with Avengers 3. Well, okay, well that is my very lackluster review of Age of Ultron. Uh, I just wanted to power right through this review. I got a real bad headache and just wanted to get this out of the way real quick. So, so all in all, I'm gonna give Age of Ultron a solid 8 out of 10. It's a solid 8 out of 10. It's a great movie, good movie, enjoyable. The character bantering is just as good as it was in the first movie. Uh, Action set pieces were good. Ultron to me is a much better villain than Loki is, but I guess you could say it was kind of almost like a retread of the first movie, and it didn't really like. I think it tried to stay more on its own 2 feet, but I think it was kind of like a little bit of a mess in trying to do so. But it doesn't take away from the overall enjoyment of the film. Like I said, solid at 10. I like it. It's a fun watch. Well, and of course, Age of Ultron is the, like I said, penultimate finale of Phase 2. However, in our next review, we're gonna go look through a more, I guess you could say, bonus side story in Phase that took place in Phase 2, as we will cover Ant Man. But until then, take care, guys.